We will now see how to program the working time of the system. To program the working time, you need to go to parameter A1 that per standard is settled at 30 seconds and set the number of seconds that you would like to set. Let's assume that your gate takes 30 seconds to open, okay? Because this control board has a slowdown function, we recommend to set A1, which is a standard working time, at, for example, 27 seconds, and A2, which is a slowdown working time, at 10 seconds. This is because during the normal opening, the gate will start, work for 27 seconds, and then work another, let's say 10 seconds until it reaches the limit switch. It's not important if it reaches the limit switch earlier than the 10 seconds. That's why we recommend to leave slow down for at least 10 seconds. What is important is that there is enough time during slowdown to reach the limit switch. We will now, to make an example, a quick example, we will now set A1 standard working time for say 10 seconds, okay? And we will set A2 slowdown for another 10. We will have a test. We will hear the motor working at normal speed for 10 seconds and then slow down until reaching the limit switch. When the opening limit switch is pressed, FA appears on the display, while when the closing limit switch is pressed, FC appears on the display. So once again, if your gate takes, let's say, 30 seconds to open, you will set 27 seconds standard opening, parameter A1, and you will leave 10 seconds to parameter A2. What will happen is exactly this. It will work for, let's say, 27 seconds. Then we'll start the slowdown and look for the limit switch. Once you have settled the standard working time and slowdown working time, basically you've done everything to get your system working properly. You can go and make more fine-tuning in the functions. We will have a look now to the major functions. For example, A3 is startup time. So it is the time from 0.1 seconds to 1.5 seconds that the control board takes to give maximum power to the motor. So if you want soft start, you need to set A3 parameter to 1.5. The motor will start soft and reach the maximum power in 1.5 seconds. Per standard, A3 parameter is settled at 0.1 seconds. Then we have A5 parameter that per standard is settled at 7. The minimum is 1, the maximum is 10. This is the standard force during standard speed. So let's say the force, the power of the motor is settled at 70%. 70% is a good average for almost all systems to work fine. A6 is power during slowdown. Minimum is 1, maximum is 10. Let's say that during slowdown the motor has 80% of the power. 8 is a good average to let almost all systems work fine. A7 parameter is obstacle sensing during standard speed. You can set it dependently on how much pressure you want the gate to give before reversing when it touches an obstacle. So you can set it from very sensitive to less sensitive. Per standard it is disabled. You can enable it by setting the sensitivity. So A8 is the obstacle sensing during slowdown. A9 is motor brake function. This function is very useful for reducing inertia effect on some gates. It is enabled by standard. You can increase it or decrease it depending on the necessity. Then there are other parameters like F0 is the time for automatic closing, F1 is the time for pedestrian opening, F3 is pre-blinking if you want the flashing lamp to blink some seconds before the gate starts, F5 is to set step-by-step function or not step-by-step, F6 is community mode. Community mode on F6 doesn't get start signals during opening or pause. So when the gate is opening or when the gate is in pause, you cannot stop it or interrupt it if community mode is enabled. F8 is related to the photocells logic. Normally you can leave the one that is standard. If you want to change, referring to the user manual, you can change the photocell logic. L0 is if you want to connect an electric lock by means of the connector. There is an optional PCB to be connected to the board to control an electric lock. You can from L1 set, from L0 set if the electric lock is connected or not. L1 is cold winter function. It is very useful for cold countries to avoid both the motor and the control board to freeze under very cold temperatures. You can set it from 0 to 10 and you can refer to the user manual for more details. L2 is a recovery loop function, which is useful in some cases when the gate starts from the middle and not from the beginning. It will go in slow down speed until it finds the first limit switch. This is again to avoid inertia. T1 parameter is to enable photocell test if you want it. T2 is normally activated by factory and it is doing thermal protection test. If one of the motors or the motor is in thermal protection, the control board will detect it and show it on the display.